Good morning, car guys and car gals. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And we are brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. So excited. And I want to go ahead and settle something that some people, they debate. I'm not the taller one, folks.
Not even close. So that means,
but I do keep my chair hyped up a lot.
Super high. I just bring mine down a little bit, right? So this way he looks a little taller than me, right? So hey, it's not about the height. It's about the heart. It's about the heart. He's got a big heart, so that doesn't matter. I am a lot taller though. It looks cool when we walk around. I have to admit. But anyway, so enough about us.
Inside of that, we got a big show, and inside of what happens in the auto industry, there's so many different comparisons that occur that happen. Which one is taller? Which one is shorter? Which one makes more money? Which one's more important? Which side of the house is the most important side of the house? Where ultimately we are here to unite all of the automotive industry into a unified group of solutionaries. And we have an incredible solutionary that's with us here today, folks. Let me tell you something. He's got a hat. We got the hat that he's wearing right now. We got that right here inside of the cafe with us with a couple little scribbles on it, right? But this is somebody that we actually had the chance to meet. We're so excited that we had the chance to sit there, have a conversation, Brew Solutions, upshift the industry at Digital Dealer together. I know that you guys have seen him, but folks, this is about to be a great time. But tag a car guy, tag a car gal.
We need you to tag, share.
Get them in here.
Let's get some people in this room. Let's get it going. We are live right now. It's 8:42 Eastern Standard Time. And we have a superstar in the building, man. We have a superstar right now waiting to come forward and talk about his story. And I'm excited to hear his story because he's somebody that I've been watching in social media. I've seen what he's doing. I've seen his business grow. I've seen the people that he's helping. I've seen the network of people that absolutely love him. I know I gave away to him, right? So that being said, I'm excited to have him here today. Man, he got up early for us, folks.
He did.
He was in the clubhouse with us this morning. Man, he's not a morning person. I have to admit, I used to not be a morning person either. I still not technically.
Until he started drinking.
And then I started drinking Car Guy coffee. Now I'm up every morning. And honestly, what changed my schedule for me personally is that I knew that the way I could get my message out there was to get up early. So now I've become a morning person. Right. And it's so amazing to be that way. It's difficult though. Don't get me wrong. Because I'm so used to being up so late. Now I go to bed. It's like 11, and I'm like my eyes are like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm not used to that. I'm used to being like, you could ask Lou. We used to be like 2, 3 in the morning, like it was nothing. So anyway, enough about that. Let's keep this thing going. So you ready, bro?
I am ready for this. I want to bring this message that has been brought to you by our incredible partners and friends over at Dealership Toolkit. They are some incredible solutionaries that are always finding a way to bring together all of the blocks that it takes to take your business to the next level. With that said, we want to make sure that you also always consider thinking about your advertisement in a different way. And you can do that by connecting with our friends over at Think Ad Group.
www.thinkadgroup.com.
www.thinkadgroup.com. Yes, they can definitely find a way, whether it's in fixed ops or on that side of the house that you need to dig into your clientele to be able to put together the right message, the right voicemail, the right they got a few new technologies I want to start speaking about.
Can't talk about it yet.
We'll talk about it probably next week. I want to spill some beans.
He always wants to spill beans.
That's just what happens. Okay. I'm excited about the great things that are brewing and how people are grinding it out. But again, you can get information by connecting with Justin Searle, Evelyn, Derek, all the incredible solutionaries over at Think Ad Group doing great big things, and they believe in the message to forgive, focus, fly. Amen. And to keep raising up this industry. And in order to keep raising up this industry, we keep bringing in the best of the best beans to brew with. And today we are bringing in the one,
the only,
Mr. Brad Paschal.
Good morning,
my friend. We appreciate you for being here, bro.
I even got a little coffee brewing this morning. So.
Yeah.
You got to check out my mug though. It says
let's highlight that
podcast whisper.
This is courtesy of Scott Stratton. So
yes. What's up, Scott? Shout out to him, man.
Yeah,
great stuff out there, man. That's a nice looking coffee mug. I want one of those.
Yeah.
You know, hey, soon you'll be having a different one.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Awesome.
You know? Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, we left with none. We gave away all of our mugs.
Man, we had so much fun at Digital Dealer. We gave out so much swag and so many different things. And we had so many mugs and, little bags of coffee like this to pass out. And it was so cool and fun. And it was neat. I think a lot of people really liked it and they took it with them. And we see it all over social media now. So it's a lot of fun to see it. And man, I'm glad you were there. I'm glad we got to meet you there. Like I said, we got to talk to each other in between things here and there. But man, we're here right now. And I'm so excited to have you here. Oh, we got this beautiful stuff. So before we do anything, Brad, we always like to do this thing called the 3 F's. It's to forgive, focus, fly. I know you heard it. I know you've seen it. It's time to do it and be about it. So let's get this thing going. I'm going to let Lou introduce the forgive, focus, fly to you, and we'll go from there.
Well, brother, you are succeeding on many different levels inside of your life.
Yes,
and whatever the tools are that you use to do so, I'm sure that in some place or another, you found the way to apply each of these F's inside of your life. And now you are flying. And flying can actually be a little bit laborious, right? That's the work. You got to work for it. You got to keep pumping them wings. But in order to do so, you got to free up your arms. And that's wiping off the weight of unforgiveness.
Amen.
In order to do that, you forgive the people that have wronged you and you forgive you that have wronged you, right? Whether you've mismanaged your time, dollars, or relationships, you have to find a way to forgive. Start again right now. You got up early today to make today better.
Yep.
And this is the only opportunity that we have to fix anything. It's to operate with the moment that we have. And so you forgive, then we get focused on what we can do, and then we stretch out and we fly, and then we keep growing, keep growing.
You know the deal.
Here we go. It is time to get ready to do the secret handshake on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Forgive. Focus. Fly and keep growing.
Get it. Yeah. Come on.
Thank you for joining us. You have just learned a secret handshake. You were part of the Solutionary family. All right. Yeah. That's kind of like my new hashtag I've been doing lately. When I share someone's post that I really like, I'm going to tag it #Solutionary family.
And I think you got that from Luciano when he was on a couple days ago. So
yeah,
you're stealing a little bit of that Italian from him.
Forget about it. I love some. Yeah, he was. It was so much fun to interview him too. That is an amazing owner. There's not a lot of owners out there like him, and to find somebody that raised.
I would say so, since he's my car dad, and that's who I started under.
No kidding!
Wow,
I didn't realize.
Yeah. Luciano brought me into the business.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that it ended up this week.
Yeah, that you're the very next.
I had no idea. That
didn't plan that, folks.
We did not plan that. That's just divine intervention right there. And things happen for a reason. And I'm so glad that you did. Wow. I'm glad that Lucky got you in this business, because this business needed you. And I think he knew that. He's been man. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm really liking John even more and more every time I hear stories like this.
I love him anymore.
I know, man.
There's some stories about him that are really good. So we can talk about it if you want here in a little bit.
We got some time. We're definitely gonna have to bring that up, man. And that's something amazing. I love that you popped that legacy of growth up, Lou.
Already, I mean, just off the bat,
because that's what that is, man. It's a legacy. So you can see already Mr. Luciano's legacy. This is part of it right here. And he honors him like that. Look how great that is. And to see that happening in this world, it's great. And then I promise you, we're gonna interview somebody here within the next year that's gonna talk about Mr. Brad. And they're going to be like, yeah, he helped me get in this business. He encouraged me to get to the next level, because that's what people do when they get encouraged by others. It's all starts from the top. It always does, man. And it's crazy when you have the right leadership and you start somewhere great, which like Lou and I did. We started somewhere amazing. We were very fortunate to be around strong car people that gave us a lifestyle and said, hey, you can be anything you want in this business. You can own anything you want to have. This business is great. And they showed that to us. And man, and it's neat to have that, and it keeps you going. And then you get to tell that to other people and get them to come into this business. And that's what we want to do. So anyway, enough about that. We're going to get back to Lucky a little bit later, man, because I absolutely love that guy. I really do. I'm so glad we had him on the show, and I'm so glad he got you in this business, Brad. Yes. So, man, we do this thing called the 5-liner. Now, this 5-liner is 5 questions, and these 5 questions are my favorite questions in the world, because they really bring out your story. They talk about the things that you've done. The very first one's my favorite question. It's your why, your purpose, what drives you. So what is that? What is it for you, Brad? What gets you up every single day to be the best version of yourself, to try to help this business, to help your family, whatever it is? What drives you?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question, right? This sounds like a Simon Sinek type question, right? So So my why is, my dad was a small business owner, right? And I saw him struggle through owning a business and in a small town. And when I got into the car business, I was selling cars and going through things. And then I got onto the marketing side, and I realized, like, hey man, if you have a good marketing strategy and you don't have to have a whole lot of money to make a big impact. It's all about audiences, and marketing's all about attention, right?
Right.
That's all it is. It's just attention, and we're super overstimulated. So it's all right, how can I drive some sort of emotion to capture attention? That's the whole root of it. And so what I realized is that a small dealership like the one that we came from at Street Volkswagen
right
can really become a big dealership, or play with the big boys with a good strategy. And so my goal is to call BS on all the companies that try to rip people off and bring transparency, and help the good guys that do things the right way, that take care of customers. So ultimately, when people think about us, that they don't associate us with going to the dentist or
Right.
stuff like that, that they associate it as, oh man, that's a great experience. These guys are a part of my community. These
Right.
guys sew back into the community. These guys are here everywhere you look. You're everywhere. And that's what my mission is.
Wow. Amen. And your mission is amazing. And that's exactly what everybody needs to be focused on right now. It's because without clients, without customers and good, what do we have? We don't have a business, and that's, and I'm going to tell you, Vroom, Carvana, and all of them are proving that. They're like, hey, we're taking some of your market share, and we're not even people. We're a computer screen. So
right.
what value do you bring? So let's be human beings. That's the value we bring. Let's be right to people. Let's be righteous. Let's treat them right. Let's advertise. Let's show people that we are people and we want to help other people and that we love on other people, and that this is going to be fun experience. It's not going to be one of those you come in and you just feel like you said, going to the dentist, like you're getting teeth pulled. You don't want that. You want that, hey, I'm going somewhere that makes me feel good. They give me something cold to drink, a cup of coffee. They bring me a snack. They give me the millionaire experience when I buy a car or when I get service on my vehicle. It's all wonderful. That's what you want.
And I think it's something like, so if you look at Luciano, right? I was his marketing manager when the diesel issue hit, right? And we could have said, oh man, what are we going to do now? Because that was 70% of our business was diesel Volkswagens.
Yeah.
And he said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to invite every single diesel Volkswagen owner into our store, and we're going to have a dinner, and we're just going to answer questions for 4 hours straight.
Wow.
So you can look at a problem like, hey, this is a problem, oh, how are we going to recover from this? Or you can look at a problem and say, hey, look, this is an opportunity to build a deeper relationship with these people on how we handle this problem. And every single problem that gets presented to me or to Owen or to anybody that I associate with, that's how I prefer that we look at stuff. On hold on one second. On the back of my hats that I wear on a normal basis, this is what it says, and that's my handwriting. And actually, Paul Daly came up with this.
I love it.
And he came up with, that's my handwriting, and he put it on a logo for me. And that's what it says on the back of every single one of my hats. And I live that every day. I don't care if it's a vendor. I don't care if it's a dealership. I don't care if they even work with us. I'm always here to help anybody that reaches out.
And that's a lifestyle that is permeating from your culture, man. It started from before you even got in the industry. I mean, folks, you heard what he said. He echoed what John echoed about people attributing this experience to that of a root canal or going to the dentist, right?
It's bad.
And that's been for generations. And we have an entirely new generation that's coming aboard right now that is looking at problems and not saying, how do we stick our head in the sand or how do we hide that this problem is there? right? That's a political strategy. Hide that there even is a problem. Hide that there even is a flaw. They remove the politics to focus on the people, and they literally are experiencing a Brewing Solutions lifestyle where they're actually finding things that they can fix by pulling it out of the people, by extracting it out of those that they sit with, listen to. You hear that, folks? They said they sat there for 4 hours to listen to them.
Listen to their clients that own the diesels to answer any questions that they had. I mean, come on. Who does that? That's amazing. That's like solutionary. I mean, I'm telling you, that is exactly what it's about. It's about serving and thinking about your clients ahead of yourself, because it doesn't matter without them. 100%. I'm going to get back to that. It does not matter if they're not coming to your store. You have to have good clients. You have to take care of your clients, because without them, I'm telling you, folks, what do you have? You have nothing. You have no business. You have yourself. You have a bunch of people working in a building that are not serving anyone. And that's not what we do in the business. The car business is a servant business. We serve people. We help them purchase and change their lives. We help them get their vehicles repaired. We help them get new tires. We help them do all these things that they hate to do. Honestly, I hated doing them too before I got in the car business. And sometimes, honestly, I still hate taking my car somewhere to get an oil change or something like that, because I'm like, man, you never know what they're going to run into. Right. But the thing is when you find that right person, it makes a difference. So when you find the right shop, the right dealership, the right car salesperson, the right service rep, the right parts department, you know where it's at. And when you find it, it's like gold, man. It's like really like, oh, and that's what's sad about our business. And that's why we're trying to change it. That's why people like Brad are doing some amazing things, because they're here for you. Yes. Right. They're here to help. And what I love about that is that that's what we need to start thinking in our mind. He has it in his hat. It says it in his handwriting.
Right.
That's because it's a reminder for him. It's also it sends that message out. So the moment you go to Brad and you're like, hey man, I need this and that. And he's like, well, I'm too busy. Your hat doesn't say you are, bro. Right. So, so he doesn't live that lifestyle. He's living the lifestyle. I'm going to serve, and then I'll worry about me. And I love that about you, man. Thank you for sharing that and wearing that hat, dude. That's I want one, just so you know.
Yeah. I'll send you guys some. I had to reorder. I ran out.
Dude, I know that feeling. Our inventory is super low right now too. So
and then I had some that didn't have it on there, and the guy brought it back. He's like, "No, I want the one you wear." Like, I don't want this.
The file of that signature. If that's a file, send us that, and we can actually have one with all of the fun stuff. Your all of those make something real original out there for everybody. But speaking of something original for everybody, there's a bunch of incredible people that are in here, and these are the people that
we need
serving. You
throw some shout outs
here. So thank you so much for joining us today. We have an incredible solutionary in the room. We're going to highlight some of those that are guests, and if you haven't put a comment in there yet, that's great. Let's go ahead and serve our friend Brad a nice
coffee mug emoji.
There we go. Emoji. Woo. Inside of the comment box, say welcome to the brew. We're excited to have you. Let's say hi to some of our.
We got Facebook user. Not sure who you are, but I love you.
Love you, Facebook.
It says good morning, guys. It says good morning, Solutionaries. Then we got Solutionaries. We got Frederick John. What's up? 5:30 in Cali. Need some of that coffee,
man, get
bro.
Some.
That's another one of those master marketers right there, Brian Ortega.
That's my boy.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's got some of the best commercials out there. Love the dude so much.
His son did a caricature of me. That was fantastic. I think you need to reach out to him to get some of you guys, because he did a fantastic one of me.
I definitely will. Brian, you heard that. We will be reaching out to you.
Here you go.
Oh, dude. That's dope. I love it.
It's great, man. His hey, there's Eric.
Yeah, Eric. We got Eric Hinkle up in the house, man. I love
Talking
Eric.
About generational, legacy of
legacy on legacy.
Solutionaries.
Yeah, man.
That right there.
Love that guy. We got James. Solutionaries. Rise up. I love him. Love some James. He's not that far away from us either, so he came to visit us at the stores one day. That was so cool of him. I mean, just we
oh no.
Oh, fly like an eagle, Brad.
Hey,
inside story. Oh, I get it.
Not a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
No, not an Eagle. No. Well, you're in Texas. There's no doubt about it. Then, of course, we got Ron Garv. Brad is he's an asset in this industry. No doubt about it. We appreciate it. And we got Glenn Double N Pash up in here. Morning from Puerto Rico. What? Man, dude, I wish you should have told us you were going. I would have flew down to see you, man. And then Eric says Amarillo connection. That's right. You know, my son and I'm getting ready to order tickets today. and he wants to go to 2 different places he's never been to. He's never been to Texas, and he's never been to Colorado. So I was looking at tickets for both places. And Amarillo, I actually saw some tickets to Amarillo, and I thought about, because I have so many people there I know now. I'm like, hold on, maybe I should Amarillo.
Yeah, you got Ron's out here, and then you got Eric, and then the guys up in Pampa. So there's a lot of guys on Clubhouse and to follow you guys from out here in Amarillo.
Man, I might make that trip. We're definitely going to go check out Street and Volkswagen together, but
we're going to do a show there.
Yeah, we're going to bring our podcast and do a show there live.
And my wife works for the Toyota store. She's the BDC manager at the sister store.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're automotive. We're full automotive.
That's awesome though, right there, man. That Amarillo area is like wow. It's like here where we're at. There's a lot of great car people in our area too, like just amazing people that just are like, wow, like you can't believe they came from this little area in Kentucky. It's not even, I'm not talking about Kentucky, I'm talking about our little area in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And then county. But then you're talking about your area too. So man, shout out to Amarillo area car people out there. Congrats to you all for being the innovators and doing things differently. I mean, I definitely need to go make that visit. I might fly down there with my son. What's fun to do out there with father-son activities?
Oh man, we have a big canyon south of the city that is fantastic. A lot of good hiking, wildlife.
That might be my spot.
Yeah, so there's a lot of good stuff out there. There's all kinds of stuff. You just ask Luciano; he has all the hookups.
I'm sure he does, man. I'm sure he does.
He gets you in. He'd probably put you up at the lake out there where he lives. He'd let you stay in the bunkhouse.
I might have to send a message.
Yeah. Everybody that comes down that are like vendor partners stays out at Luciano's house. So
that's so cool, man. He's just that's his heart, man. That's just how he is. He loves raising other people up, man, because that's what it's about. It's it's a two-way street. It always has been. So, man, we got John Acosta saying, yeah, baby. We got Brian Ortega again saying, be rad in his house. Yeah. Amanda Sander. What's going on, Amanda? How are you doing? Amanda? My elite friend. And then we got Indeed, he is Facebook user. Of course, we got Ron again. We got Michael Offmuth down here.
Michael, have you? Let's say hi to some of our.
We got Facebook user. Not sure who you are, but I love you. Indeed, he is Facebook user. Of course, we got Ron again. We got Michael Offmuth down here.
Michael, have you? Let's say hi to some of our.
Do you hear that echo or repeat? That was weird. Hey. Yeah. That was wild. So anyway, we'll keep it moving. Now we have Michael Offmuth. We got Chris, Amanda again. Cindy Zyba. I can't pronounce that. I apologize. Cindy Zyba. I love that name, though. That is so cool. And then we got Brian again. Of course, you got, it looks like you got a brother maybe here. Keith.
Oh, that's my dad.
Your dad? Oh, Pops is even watching. What's going on, Pops? You raised a good young man here. I'm sure you're proud of him.
Got a good one.
And of course, we got Eric Hall up in the house. What's up, Eric, man? I love some Eric. And then Jay Woolridge. Man, I love this guy too. He's amazing. He's always all over my stuff on LinkedIn, and I appreciate you so much, man.
Yes, Jay.
Of course. So let's keep this thing moving, man. Let's get to question number two.
So since we have already launched this off with the legacy of growth, we have your dad in the actual Brew with us right now on the show. That's right? Awesome. He's watching. That's awesome. Just incredible to us. But you started it off also saying that you have a car father, right? Like a father in the business, right? Well, how did you say that again?
So Alex Flores told me, I was talking to Alex and Luciano was there, and I was like, Luciano brought me into the business, and he goes, yeah, he's your car dad.
Car dad.
There you go. Or your car mom, right? So you got, everybody has a car dad or a car mom, right? That brought him into the business.
That's right.
That's fact.
And you honored that off the bat. And that's something that we definitely look at to try to make sure that people do operate in honor in this business. That's the center of our actual core values, is to operate in honor. And we believe that the way forward for this industry to mend a lot of the wounds that we have, whether it's within the organizations itself or it's with our reputation to the customers, it's to lead with that love, but with honor. To truly be people of honor. When we make mistakes, we own up to it. When we burn bridges, we learn how to rebuild them. When we don't communicate properly, we learn a new language, right? And this language that we want, from the front of the house to the back of the house, in marketing to the actual customer service, that congruency needs to be there. And this is why we love people like Paul that bring that to the forefront, right? That are speaking of that. But You had somebody as a gatekeeper, as a doorway dad, right, for you. But what brought you to the car business? What brought you to the gate? What brought you to our industry?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. So I was working for Lumber Liquidators, which is like a hardwood floor company, right? And I was a store manager, and one of the general managers came in, and he actually hired all three of us out of the store. And we were looking for a way out because Lumber Liquidators was about to go through some really crazy stuff with the SEC. So we kind of saw the writing on the wall, and we're looking for a way out. And I didn't really fit at the time at the Toyota store, and so I went and talked to John Luciano, and him and I had a good conversation, and it just really, God puts crazy things in your life, right? I moved to Amarillo, didn't want to move to Amarillo, ended up starting a church out here in Amarillo, like a couple weeks after I moved here, and so I just really felt called that was the place I was supposed to be at that time. And the amount of growth that I went through from when I started till now is just crazy. It's just insane. Met my wife in the car business. My wife worked for the Toyota store. So it was nothing but divine.
Wow, dude, divine. I love this. And I've recently got back in my walk with Christ, and it's just been an amazing walk. I've been surrounded with so much amazing, like, passion and faith around me, and it just bled into me, and it's always been inside me. I just think that I rejected it because of one church that I went to years ago, and I think it just kind of pushed me away, and that's my own fault for not being more open and being more, I don't know, leaving my heart there. I think I got hurt a few times, and it kind of drove me. But at the same time, I things happen for a reason when they do. And right now, you're right, man. When you find the right people and you're surrounded by faith, and you feel that divine intervention happening, it's time to take that leap. God speaks to us in so many different ways, and a lot of times He's quiet, and we have to, you have to listen a little bit more. And sometimes He's super loud, and you just know exactly what He means. So it's just about finding your path, doing it the right way. And when you do, it's right, and you feel it. Like you said, what's going on is the right thing. You've grown so much because of this business. So that's why it's so crazy that people look at this business as taboo and look at this business as crooks and stuff like that. Because there's people like you and Lou and me and Lucky and so many other people out in this business, Glenn Lundy's and the Glenn Paschals and everybody that are doing just amazing things to help uplift and upshift this business, that it's destined to be great, and I'm so excited. This is a great time to be in the business right now. And it's because of the path that you, like people like you, Brad, have carved out for people like us and other people that are coming up in this business. We're all excited to change it. We're all starting to get together. And I think last year, as crazy as last year was with coronavirus, it put us closer. Though we were separated, we all got closer to the point where competition kind of disappeared. It became friendships. It became partnerships. It became ways of even though we do the same thing, how do we help each other? Right. And that's what this business is how do we help elevate other voices that are doing the right thing? I don't care if you're my direct competition. There's plenty of dealers. There's plenty of that. The job is to get every dealer to change. So if every dealer in the country can get on that same level, great. I can't do it by myself, man. I cannot. Neither can you. Neither can anyone on this list of guests that are watching right now, or anybody that we've interviewed. It takes all of us. And some, and the next generation, because it's going to take a generation or two before the whole business gets looked at differently. But I mentioned, and I'm ready to make that change. So let's do this, man. And man, I appreciate your faith and passion, bro.
Yeah, I think something that I'd feel really bad if I didn't mention this, but there's a guy up in Southtown Volkswagen. His name's Brian Armstrong. I don't know if you know who he is. He's big. He's big with driving sales, and he's all over the place. But when I first came in and sold cars for Luciano, I was selling cars and taking pictures of the vehicles, right? And then eventually he was like, well, you know about this internet thing. I want you to learn marketing. And I was like, what? I don't know anything about marketing. And so I said, well, what's the best store in the nation? And at that time, it was Southtown Volkswagen up in Utah. And so I called this guy out of nowhere. It's that e-commerce director. I didn't even know what that was. So I called him on the phone. I said, hey, Brian, we're going to be friends because I know nothing about marketing and I need some help. And he asked me one question. He goes, well, are you in my market? And I go, no. He's like, okay, that's it. And he has been one of the greatest mentors on the marketing side of stuff that I've ever had. And on the sales side of stuff, there's only one guy that I can think of that's just fantastic and amazing human being that I'd have to honor, and that's Damian Boudreaux. And I talked to him yesterday. And that guy is just, he's gold. So there's nobody better than that guy in my mind. So
that's amazing. There's a lot of people that say that about you, and that's cool that you pass that buck on to him, and I love that. And it's true. You're a very humble guy, and I love that about you. Being humble is the key to all of it, because as good as we all think we are, or good as we become, there's something better out there. There's something more. God has a plan for us, and it's to keep growing and to be the best version of ourselves. So it's a constant thing. Every single day we have to look for 1% of how we can be better. And man, it's cool that you throw honor like that, and that's key. We talk about that type of stuff. Speaking of that, and that's great that you brought him up. I love that. But the question is, my question for you, question number 3 is, who has been your greatest mentor in this business? Who's helped you grow the most? Who's somebody that helped pivot? Now, if it's not one person, I get it, man. Sometimes it's hard to throw one person, because I have a few. But if you were to say 1 or maybe 2 or 3, 4, 5, I don't care. It's your show. You tell me what's up.
That's hard. That's so hard, man, because
leave no one out. It's like winning an award and be like trying to thank everybody.
When you talk about growth, right? You guys are talking about growth and you say 1%, but there's sections whenever you do what I do, right? Mm-hmm. There's sales, there's marketing, there's personal growth, there's spiritual growth, there's all different sorts of sections. So one person might not make you grow in every different way, right?
Right.
If you look at personal growth, it's got to be my parents and my dad. And growing up, my dad was a plumber, and I was always asked when I was a kid, because I was very curious. I'd say, "Hey, have you ever done this before?" And his answer would always be, "Yeah, this and one more will make 2." Like, don't worry about it. We're going to figure it out, right? So I get a hardcore problem-solving mentality from my dad, because he was a plumber and he could look underneath the house and tell you every fitting that he needed, and we would have like this much pipe left when we get done.
Right.
And so without even measuring it, and you're just like, this is insane. And so I have that problem solving skills that applies to pretty much every part of my life. But Luciano taught me all kinds of things about sales and how the business works. And Boudreaux taught me about, as he would say, finding the PP. An easier way to say it is finding the pain point. They're either trying to solve a problem or running from something, or and then like I said, Brian Armstrong taught me a ton about marketing, and now I feel like I'm at the point where I usually look outside of the industry and try to reverse engineer and bring it into the industry. So it's you can't pick one, man, because there's so many people. You kind of have to find your tribe, right? Because if you hear people talk about kids, they say, "Hey, it takes a village," right? It's the same way in the car business. You have to have a tribe or village to really grow and really get the maximum growth out of that. And I think that's so important, to find your tribe of people that can surround you, like Dusty and Eric Hall and Carson Henry and Kyle. And, I have a good group of guys around me that we talk on a daily basis, Nick Varney and Tim. And there's a lot of those guys that are out there that are just fantastic.
I love that.
Fantastic.
There's all those names, amazing names. I want to be best friends with all of them, right? So you're bringing up some good stuff, and it is hard, and I understand that. When I ask that question, I'm always like, it's kind of loaded, because we all, when you brought your father up, that's huge. I love that. I love what you talk about. I love his saying. Like Amanda put it up here, and I'm going to bring it back up. She rewrote it down. This and one more makes 2. So
there it is.
that is so factual, and that is a great way of thinking of things, because you're right. There's everything that we've done or we're getting ready to do, something we've never done. Somebody else never did it before either. The first person who ever did something, that was their first time. Just like anything, selling a car, we all go through firsts, our very first things. And when you do that, and you have to overcome it. You have to just do it and figure it out. And I love that about your father. He made it seem really simple, fun, and just say, look, we'll get it, man. No problem. And this is one. This and one more makes two. And it's the way it can be. And you have to constantly do that and understand that eventually it'll be 3, 4, and then you become the expert at it. But you have to start with 0 first, getting on that first one and going from there. Your dad was a genius. Seriously, he knew how to get you there.
Yeah, I don't know if you give him a little too much credit, but I'll tell you a story about him.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, so in the summers, I love to go to the swimming pool, right?
Yeah.
And we work every day after school. We work in the summer, since I was a kid. So he would line up all of the ditches for like sewer lines, gas lines, and everything for Saturdays. So that because he knew when the pool opened at 2, I wanted to go. So I would finish all this work that would have took me 2 days in between 6 a.m. and 2 o'clock. And he would be like, oh, I don't know. We can't go to the pool today. We can't go to the pool. And then I'd be done. And he'd be like, I guess you can go. I guess you can go. And so he would hack my personality. Luciano does the same thing. He did the same thing. And so that's why they remind me of each other so well, is because they hack your personality. And I'll be like, it's kind of like Men in Black, where you're like, hey, did you flashy thing me? Right. And so now they start to tell me stories like that how they hack my personality. And so that's kind of a fun thing that happens and makes me think, because my dad tells me stories like that all the time.
Oh, I freaking love that.
That is genius level dadding.
That is genius dadding, right? Yeah. I need to take a little tip from him and start using that. Yeah.
But you're doing the same thing now, that you have this father voice now. You were planning a church, landed yourself into the car business. You are making things happen where a culture like that can be cultivated, right? Where we're constantly finding a way.
His dad even writes too much credit.
Too much credit, right? But where we're finding a way to hack each other. Folks, that's a way of actually being empathetic, is to understand how people work, where it is that they're actually coming from, right? Brad's dad got it, and we do that with our kids even now, right? Whether it's working the customer, working the relationships inside of the dealership, whether it's working your marketing plan, no matter what it is, we're always trying to find a way to communicate with other people.
Right.
And that's ultimately what we're doing, to try to get the best of ourselves, the best of each other around us. The word says that love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And
as you love yourself,
you have to have a big as, right? That as has to fit lots of other understandings of where it is that you are. You have to learn how to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn how to do that in order to get out of the other people around you the best from them, because in that way you can actually deliver your truth. You can deliver your love, your encouragement to them. And in that, we run into lots of different challenges in our business, right? This is not for the faint of heart, right? This isn't for the thin-skinned. This business definitely, I mean, again, we can have a banter back and forth in the automotive industry of just trash talking, and it's fun. But Robin brought up earlier, as we were talking about Fred's path, how spiritual abuse is a thing. That's a hard hit to take inside of your walk in growth, is a spiritual abusive situation. And that's something that we grow out of. We grow from as we get grafted more into family. What I keep hearing is this family effect that you have where it is that you are.
Amen.
This growth where people are really, truly trying to build each other up, but they're welcoming each other in. And you started off with highlighting the dads. But in that, we have all these other people that are joining.
Man, I'm going to tell you something. You know how much love you have, Brad? And I've been doing this show for a year and a half. I've been doing lives for over a year. This is the most comments I've ever had during a live show. People love you, bro.
Yeah.
And I love you too. And I'm so glad that you're here today, because it's neat to see the people out there that are touching you right now. They're just saying all these amazing things, joking. They know you personally. I mean, a lot of people because you put yourself out there.
Yes.
And I'm so glad that honestly, I'm so glad you're that type of person, man. You're awesome, bro.
Well, when you don't wake up early, you have to be really loud, right? Because you can either wake up early and start grinding up early, or you could be just really loud like me, right? So I just try to be loud, and I think it's so important, like on the spiritual, you know, when people take advantage of you like that, I think it's just, you got to have discernment, right, around those people. Because I've been a part of churches and I've been a part of things where you don't have discernment and you might get taken off the path a little bit. But you just have to have, like, for some reason, I have a really good BS filter. Like it just kicks off, and I know, oh, I'm not going to hang around with that person, or I'm going to keep that person at arm's length.
Right.
And so I'm very thankful for that, because it's very intuitive, and it's I have very good discernment about not associating myself with or even to exit at the right time. And I'm very, very thankful that it served me very well.
Man, that's awesome stuff.
And something like that is going to serve you well, again, because of you being aware of who it is that you actually are. You learning how to love that. You learning to see what other people see in you, love that too, but also reflect that back to them. That's what you do. And just inside of this show, we're able to highlight so many parts of what it is that you're brewing that the auto industry needs, right? He approaches everything with that smile. He's pumped up to make sure that he takes on whatever challenges with other people, but he knows what motivates him. He knows what it takes to motivate the people that he leads, and to motivate a person that's on the other side of a screen that needs to have something pierce them inside. Something has to move that emotion, right? You got to get them to move, to feel, to feel something without actually touching, connecting, all of those things. But you've had a lot of things that have moved you. You've had a lot of challenges that have gotten you to where it is that you are. Lots of actual victories all throughout it. But with all of these people that are watching and are learning and are just here to support you, what has been the hardest lesson you've had to learn? What has been the biggest hit on the chin you've had to shake off and get back in the fight?
Yeah, you know, I've been put into situations before, not as much on the on the car sales side when I was selling for Luciano, because he makes it easy, right? He lays everything down, everything's integrity based. But on the vendor side of stuff, it's really, really tough because it's not as transparent sometimes, right? And so we don't require as much transparency from vendors as we should. And we definitely don't do it if they're looking to pick you up from the dealer side. So two things happened when I took the leap. Number one, I take the leap, and all of the vendor, or not all of them, but a chunk of vendor friends that were friends no longer become friends. And so you're like, whoa, just because I moved from the dealership to the vendor side. Now there's a lot of great guys out there that stuck with me, and you know, Glenn's always been in my corner. I saw his comment a while ago. He jokes that we're cousins because
1-2 letters separate.
I have an AL on my name and he doesn't. So he jokes. So Glenn and Brian have been great, and there's a lot of great people out there that's really had my back through the whole thing. But you lose a lot of friends when you switch to the vendor side. And then the second part is a lot of companies try to force you to sell stuff that you don't believe in. And I've always tried to maintain the highest integrity. So I fought that for a long time. So I finally made a couple of changes in my life and really went to looking like, hey, where's the company that I can believe in, people that I can believe in, and people that'll let me be myself. Because I don't want to come into a company and they say, hey, you have to be in this box, right? That's not me. Nope. I know what I need to be motivated. I need to be innovative. I need to be able to interact with people. I need to be able to help people. I need to be able to, if I want to take off and go to Dallas and go to 5 dealerships, I need to be able to do that. So I have a lot of ADD. So I have to constantly be busy and in the trenches, and I like to share and help people and go to the conferences and stuff like that. So thankfully I found a place where I could do that with Owen and Kevin at Fix Ups. And we've been friends for 10 years almost.
That's awesome.
So I knew what kind of guys they were when we made the switch. And so it's been fantastic. So that was the biggest thing, is finding a place where I could be myself. And I think I've done that, and we've been super successful over the last 4 or 5 months. So it's the most fun I've ever had in the car business.
I'm so happy for you, man. And you deserve that. You do. You know, you surround yourself with the right people. You put the work in. You're doing it with your code of conduct, the way you prefer things, your core values, right? With all that integrity, with all the being able to be yourself. I'm going to tell you something. ADD, as a child, we get told that's like a disability, but when you're older, it's actually a superpower. If you know how to use it right, if you're using it the right way, and you found the way to use it and be able to do it in business and help you actually navigate better than most people would through it, because they don't have that, right? So, man, that's superpower to me. And I'm so happy for you, man. You found the right people, the right place at the right time. Things are divine. They happen when they're supposed to happen. You just have to put the work in and believe, even when something doesn't happen, it wasn't supposed to. If you're putting work, now, if you're being lazy, and that's your own fault, but if you're putting the work in and something falls apart, it's okay. Learn from it, keep moving. The next thing is going to be great. It's going to be better. Matter of fact, that wasn't supposed to happen because God was like, no, this isn't your time for that. Your time is something else, and I have something better planned for you. So keep moving forward. And I promise you, if you keep your head up and you keep praying and you keep doing all the stuff, at the end of the day, you will find your path, you will find your blessings, and you will always keep growing. So I love that, man.
Let's add to this. Let's go ahead and put another D on the end of those AD or ADHDs, right? That discernment is key with that. Fred, I love that you said that it's a superpower. I feel so much more empowered right now, right? Because having that hyperactivity inside of you, having that attention, they call it a disorder just because people don't get it, right? You don't understand that I don't get focused on the things that are actually bringing me down. That's because of that discernment. That's learning those relationships, learning the people's actual tics. What are they really saying when they're not saying it? And then having the grace to not treat them the way they're actually treating you.
Yeah, and I think it goes into something else. Like if I took regular ADD medication, it dulls my creativity, it dulls my problem solving, it dulls. So what I do is I look for supplements and nootropics that can help me with the focus aspect, but also fine tunes myself. So I have it dialed in where I take Alpha Brain that Joe Rogan does, and then I take another one from a company called Nootropics Depot, but it's all just brain vitamins, and you just have to figure out which ones work best for you. And I think that's something that we don't talk about a lot. And this is kind of interesting because Eric Hall, I saw him jump on here for a second. So we don't talk about how we take care of ourselves in these car dealerships and nutritions, and like, go get you some pre-planned meals from there's a place around there. It's going to be cheaper. You're going to feel better because you deserve to be at the top of your game for everybody that walks in that dealership.
Come on.
And if you're eating junk food and you're eating crap food, like Eric and I just helped this restaurant that we met on Clubhouse, right? We're helping this restaurant to where they come and deliver food to Eric's dealership for like 20 salespeople. And It's all pre-cooked, amazing food. I've been helping them with the website for free. That's cool, just helping them out. And I think that's important, man. You got to take care of yourself. You got to put good things into your body. And like I said, people don't realize when you have a customer, right? The customer has adrenaline. You have adrenaline going, and they're opposite types of adrenaline. Okay. The customer's scared. They don't know what's going on. They're meeting a new person. They're worried about how much you're going to get on the trade. They're worried about this. And you're excited. You want to sell a car. You want to provide for your family. You want to go down that path. You're in the same spot, but you're in different spots, right? Your body's still pumping with adrenaline. It's just two different types, right? So if you can solve that adrenaline problem and bring those down, that customer becomes a customer for life.
I love that. It's 100% right. And, Eric Hall says garbage in, garbage out. It's facts, man. What you feed yourself is you're a direct reflection of that. When you eat a lot of, we've seen it, you see the people falling asleep at work too tired, even though they got plenty of rest last night. You've seen the ones that don't want to go catch that up because they're too tired. It's crazy. You see that. But when you feed your body, you're feeding your brain too. Your brain is getting that. Like he's talking about the vitamins. That's so smart that you do the vitamins for your brain, because medicine doesn't really work anymore. I don't think. I think that it's about taking care of your body and doing what you're supposed to do. So I love that you found alternatives for that, man. I love that you're doing that, because what you put inside yourself is a direct reflection of what you're going to put out. That's just life, period.
Yes.
You know, what you give is what you get. You know, your frequencies that you put out, the whole nine, all that stuff works together. And here's the thing, folks. You only have one body. You only have one heart. You only these things you have to take care of. If you don't do that, then your life may be shorter than you want it to be. Your life may not be the same quality that it should be. I'm in my 40s. I'm starting to realize how important all that stuff is. My body's really like, okay, you got to start working out, buddy. You need to start eating better. You need to start getting the rest. You know, you really notice it as you get older. I think it's more so because you get away with it when you're a kid, and when you're young in your 20s, you can party all night and go back to work the next day. It really doesn't, actually, it doesn't work that well. I remember doing it and going to work and I drag. I was in the Air Force at one point working on jets, and I'm dragging. How stupid was that, right? So it's just one of those things we do. We're young, we learn, we grow, but it's important to make sure you take care of your body. It's important that you feed and nutrition yourself what you need. We need vitamins in our body. That's why, like, if you're having a bad day, most of the time it's because you didn't eat well. Most of the time it's because you did this. If you're feeling a little bit like, man, I feel negative today. It's because usually it's your food intake. So go out, get a salad, get something that's delicious for your body that it needs. Eat some vitamins, you'll probably be better by the end of the day. You'd be surprised. So great point, Brad.
And Brad, that just ties back into all of it. You got to use discernment. Folks, when you're considering what you're going to eat for lunch, eat for breakfast, what coffee you're drinking, right? What you're putting in it. You got to use discernment. You got to be mindful of what actually is going to happen. Just launched podcast with Andrea.
Oh, yeah. Frank's wife. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's it, man. So, and it's important. And we need to talk about that. And the more we talk about that, it'll change. You know, like anything else, if you leave it alone, it'll disappear. It won't disappear. It'll just get worse. But if you talk about it and you do something about it, changes.
And you see results, like you're experiencing results from making better decisions. And that is a culture that can permeate. Remember, there's so much. Like, barbecue is divine. Oh, yes.
Wait. Let's amend that statement. Texas barbecue is divine. There you go.
Oh, we're going to get it started, folks.
Texas barbecue
started. But whether you love the flavor of Texas barbecue or you're loving what's going down over in the Carolinas, no matter what, folks, being actual intentional about who it is that you welcome into your life, who you feed off of,
right?
What food you put inside of your body, what relationships you connect with. That is what takes you to the next level. But that's also what builds your lifestyle better. You get better out of the professionals if you feed them well. I love that you guys saw all of those meals coming to other people right inside of your stores. Folks, that's trying to take care of professionals, right? If there's one thing that I absolutely love, it's being able to feed my people. Let me see. What are we saying here? LinkedIn user says,
Fred and Lou, I'm traveling and the connection is bad. Keeps bouncing me. Another great person you guys had today with Brad. I love it. He's 100% correct. I will keep trying to get back in. Thanks, guys.
LinkedIn user. So
thank you so much for that.
Already? Is it no, we have already passed through number 4. We're about to be on number 5. But I mean, I'm just really,
this combo is great, man. I didn't even realize where we're at. I mean, I'm having fun.
Yeah. So this is a great time.
So number 5 question. And, I know we got to get moving. I know you're a busy guy. We got, there's so many things going on in life and I don't even want this to end, but 5th question. And it's one of my favorite ones, man. We all go through a lot of things. Your very first question, obviously, was your why, your purpose. Second one was what got you in this business, how you got in this business. The third question, of course, was your mentors, and you named a lot of amazing people. It's hard to name one. I get it. And then the 4th one was, what's the greatest lesson you learned? But the very last question is, what's been your greatest reward for all the work that you've put into this business in life? What has been the greatest reward up to today?
Ooh. I had a pretty cool experience the other day that I didn't really think about. There was a guy that started with us at the Volkswagen store, and he's now a GM at a store out in Oklahoma City, and it was really cool to watch him through his whole journey. Like, just watch him through his whole journey, and I go in to talk to him about our product, and he's like, "Whatever you're selling, I'm in." He's like, I get to ask you marketing questions if I sign up. And I'm like, you get that anyways. Like, it doesn't even matter if you sign up. He's like, yeah, but I'm in. And so it was just weird to go into the store of someone that you started with in the car business. And I didn't even have to present. I mean, I still did, but I didn't even have to present anything.
Right.
And so it was cool to see that, because I didn't realize how much of an impact I had made on this guy. And when I walked in there, it was just you could tell he's grown over the years. And it's another Luciano guy that came out of our store, and he's a GM at a different store. And between that and then like watching Paul Daly like go from having a recon center or a auto recon business all the way up to where he's at now is just a beautiful thing. I'm happy to call him my friend.
Yeah.
And that's cool. So just watching other people win, I think, is one of my favorite things. You know, watching guys that like grinded for so long that are just rock stars that are getting a chance to win is super cool. I like rooting for the good guys, you know, like Damian Boudreaux and Paul Daly and my buddy Mike Davenport out there in Kentucky. So I love rooting him on. We give each other a lot of a hard time. But I was wearing his hoodie last night at a baseball game, and like 4 people came up and say, "Oh, that hoodie's so cool." I goes, "Yeah, but the guy, he's terrible who has this hoodie." So like we give each other a hard time, but watching those guys like that win is just fantastic because you know their heart, right? And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people like you guys talked about today. The one thing I would say is enjoy the journey, be where you're at. Don't be anything that you're not, right? Don't try to be bigger than you are. Enjoy the journey.
Amen.
Wow, that is such wisdom,
bro.
Folks, you need to be writing that down. Go back, rewind, listen. You have so many people all around you, and all that we're wanting to try to do for all you solutionaries that are out there that are listening when this is on the podcast, find those that are pouring out that wisdom that helps you to be able to interact better with the people around you. Your life will be so much more enriched when you learn how to truly honor and appreciate people, even to the point that you can poke them, right? You can talk that trash. You can mess with them a little bit. You can, just check their thickness of skin sometimes. And sometimes that actually brings out some good stuff that people, whoa, you're reacting a little bit too serious there, mister. That was just a joke. What are you going through? You know what I mean? There's different moments that we have in our life when we have those relationships with our people that if we just keep it real with them, we stay genuine and stay transparent. Stop trying to hide things from our friends. Stop trying to hide things from our customers. The operation of taking care of our bodies would correlate to still the way a person takes care of their brand new car, right? Once it's at 120,000 miles, you got to pay up a little bit of that attention to the concerns of that car than when you have like 1,200 miles on it and you're riding it as hard as you can. Folks, you have to take care of your relationships at their infancy, just like you need to remember that you still need to honor those that have been in your life for a long time. Brad, you have shown so much of where it is that this industry is going. And I, again, just want to highlight the legacy that's involved in it.
Yes.
There's many people that are looking at you and are smiling and saying, I know that I've poured into him. I know that he's creating good things. And there's other people that are looking back and saying, I know that I've received from him. I know that he's poured into me, and they're seeing great fruit come around it. And that's what we honor. That's a solutionary if I've ever seen one in my life. And I am just thankful that we had the chance to brew solutions with this.
I do, man.
Incredible.
But let me tell you before, I got to tell you this though, Brad, before we go, you are 100% CGC approved, my friend. And we appreciate you so much for being on the show today, man. Thank you for sharing your story, sharing your and all that type of stuff. Folks, if you haven't connected with him yet, which if you're watching the show, odds are you have, because he's been around this business enough to where he's put out the light, he's sharing the light, and he's showing people how to get that light inside them. And I appreciate you for doing that, man. Thank you so much for being here this morning, I should say. I said this evening, this morning, right? So we appreciate you, man. I'm just pumped up. I feel like I've been going all day long now. That's why I said evening. But hey, I love you, bro. I'm looking forward to getting to know you some more. I can't wait to see you again at the next whatever convention we're at. I'm sure. Matter of fact, Lou and I are going to try to make it down to Amarillo here in the next month or so. So we may have to hit you up while we're down there.
I'll be here. So I hope you guys come out here, and it'll be a lot of fun. We'll make sure you get the full experience. So
I want it. So we appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for being here, man. Is there any final words you want to say before we get out of here?
No, one thing I do that's a little bit different, right? Because we can't end this thing without talking about hats, right? Because that's kind of my deal. So every morning when I wake up, I go and and when I get ready for work, I put my hat on, and that's my psychological anchor, and it gets me into game mode, right? And so I think that's important if you're a young salesperson or you're a young professional, or even if you're not always feeling it, right? That you create you a psychological anchor that says, hey, you know what? No matter what, when I put this on or when I do this, like there's a lot of famous speakers that'll turn their rings around backwards when they go on stage. And you see different baseball players, when they go up to the plate, they have a little ritual that they do. All those things are psychological anchors. And I think that's so important to set one of those to get you into the mode, because you're not always going to feel like it. But if you continue to do that, it's going to make it a lot easier to switch into that mode. And then when you take this off at the end of the day, I'm problem solving all day long. When I take my hat off, that's when problem solving goes away for a little bit, because my wife will get home and she'll have a bad day or something will be on and she wants me to just listen. She doesn't want me to solve the problem. So I've learned to ask questions like, hey, do you want me to experience this with you? Or is this something you want me to help you solve this problem? And that's probably one of the greatest pieces of advice I've ever had in my life.
Man, that's as a husband, as a partner, that's perfect. That's the only way to be. And I love that, man. You've wise beyond your years, my friend. I'm going to use that. I'm actually taking that tip from you and going to put that in my brain.
Put that in
you get major brownie points when you ask that.
I'm 17 years into a marriage, almost 20 years together, and I still learning every day how to be a better husband. And that was a great tip, my friend. I appreciate that. That's great stuff, folks. If you guys heard that right there, create a psychological anchor.
Over the top, right?
That's what I was thinking. When he said that, I was thinking of Sylvester Stallone and over the top, turning his hat around, and he turns into the animal, and he's ready to over the top on him, right? So no, man, you're on fire, bro. We appreciate the tips. We appreciate the love. You go off and have the best day of your life. Man, what a great show, Lou.
Seriously, our psychological anchor is to forgive, focus, fly,
that's right,
everybody, so that we can keep growing. Changing your physiology is key, and that is so important, man. We can have an entire show on that, and we can't wait to have the follow-up with you.
Yes, sir.
Car guys, car gals, we have had an incredible solutionary inside of the cafe. And I cannot tell you how excited we are that you get the chance to go live out your day with all of the incredible people you get to be with.
That's right.
Car guys, car gals, we have had the one, the only Brad Paschal. And he has been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. I am Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy.
And I'm Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And we are so thankful to be brewing with the best. Thank you so much, Brad. Wave to everybody. Thank you for all that have participated today. You can get more information by going to carguycoffee.com.
You know it.
Listen to all those that we're brewing with.
Come on now.
Tracy Myers, part 3 of his 5-liner is dropping in the AM. So make sure that you get you some of that. Enjoy your 4th of July weekend. We cannot wait to hear some of the stories of everybody and how they did not blow fingers off. We are excited about.
So be safe, have fun, honor your country, man. God bless America. God bless you guys. God bless you, Brad. Thank you for being here this morning. You go off and share that light some more. I know you're going to go out and influence a lot of people. I love you for that, man. Let's keep it going. Thank you all for watching. Woo, let's go.
We love you all. God bless. Good evening and good night. Brad, again, we'll talk to you here in a moment. But for those of you that are going to make it an incredible day, go make it happen. Spread some good news, great news, and make it even better. We're out. Keep brewing solutions.